Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News, with our main thing this week being Bandai's latest hobby new item info event. Here they unveiled the information for all of their retail model kits that will be releasing in October, November and December, which will then become available in regular hobby stores like Hobbyling Japan. Shopping through the links down below will be directly supporting the channel. Unfortunately though, there wasn't a lot of new item info about the Gundam stuff because we pretty much already knew everything that there was to know about them. I was hoping that they still held back something as an ace up their sleeve, but no, the announcements we got over at Shizuoka was what we're getting. So the schedule is still the high-grade Virsago in October, the high-grade Ashtaron in November, and the master-grade Liberty Astray red frame in December. At least we did get some new information on him. For the Virsago, they said that the connection of the strike shooter beam rifles will be done through a combination part, and we also got some new promotional images. For the Ashtaron then, we got some potentially better news. When it was first unveiled, I criticized its transformation for not being very anime accurate. When you look at the official art for the transformation, or even at screenshots from the anime, you'll see that the legs are pretty flush with the rest of the body, indicating that there's some kind of extra mechanism at play to fold the legs kinda into the body. At the Shizuoka Hobby Show though, the transformation looked like the simplified one they used with the old no grade. That was understandable for back then, but with a modern high grade it would have been cool to see something extra to make it more anime accurate. In the new promotional images then, the legs do look much closer to how they should look. So either they have that extra mechanism that I was hoping for, and at the Shizuoka Hobby Show they just didn't do a good job transforming it, or maybe there's some visual trickery going on with the promotional images. Also, they did confirm that it's not a complete transformer and that some parts formation will be necessary, so hopefully that again indicates to the legs having some extra mechanism going on. As for the accessories, they confirmed that a beam saber will be included alongside the beam spear. And finally, the Liberty Astray red frame. This bad boy comes with an entirely new frame, and apparently the ability to attach the Gerbera Straight and Tiger Pierce swords in some very interesting places. You can be vanilla and simply attach them to the hips, you can be a bit more out there and attach them to the shield, which is done through a set of new parts that also attaches the shield to the backpack, or you can attach them to the slightly overhauled beam rifle. They don't show any images of this, but I'm guessing that one of the swords can be held by the new part that's underneath the beam rifle. So basically like a giant bayonet, because why not? And that was already all of the Gundam news that we got from the Hobby New Item info event thing. In fact, the biggest Gunpla unveil we got that day came from Premium Bandai. The Master Grade Gundam Mark V Federation colors, also known as the rollout colors. It now comes molded in a two-tone white and grey color scheme with red and yellow highlights. But that isn't the only difference with the new designs version. The beam rifle is bigger and more rounded, kinda like the beam rifle that's used by the full armor versions of the new Gundam and the High New Gundam. The other accessories then have remained the same, so we're still getting 4 missile pods that can open up, 2 massive beam sabers that can also serve as beam cannons, and 2 incomes that come with 2 lead wires and 4 relay points. It'll be launching in October for 9,900 yen, 62 US. And then just today, the high-grade Spiegel Gundam popped up on Premium Bandai Japan. We did already have most of the details for this thing, again thanks to the Shizuoka Hobby Show, but there were still some cool surprises in this announcement. It's releasing in September for 3,740 yen, 23 US, and its accessories include the usual G Gundam action hands, hands with Messer grunts between the fingers, movable Spiegel blades, an action base number 5, and 5 ninja scrolls with their own dedicated action base and even dedicated ninja scroll holding hands. And what's really cool about the scrolls is that they're made out of Japanese paper, just like a real ninja scroll would be, so it can be folded and unfolded. And the included base even has parts so you can display the scrolls flying around without them rolling back up. And when not in use, the scrolls can be stored in a special holder that can be attached to the backpack. But wait, there's more. There's even a second base included for the Spiegel Gundam with a hand crank, so you can turn him around like a Beyblade to replicate his signature Sturm und Drang attack. They really went above and beyond for the Spiegel Gundam, or, the Shadow Gundam as it's known in the dub. Back to the Hobby New Item Info event thing then, with the 30 minutes line. Just as with the Gunpla, we did already get most of the announcements, or basically all of them, but there was still some more information given here. So, starting with our two doggos, the X-Wild and the X-Brave. It might surprise you considering how different they are, but according to Bandai, they're using the same frame as the upcoming Xenovault. As for the weapons then, I remember that during the livestream, they described the big guns on the X-Wild as railguns, but its weapons are now listed as 2 laser units and 2 cannon units, with the X-Brave being described as having 2 booster units and 2 blade units. And let's immediately jump to our 30 minutes fantasy doggo, the Dororo Fenrir, the perfect companion for your fantasy characters. It'll come with joint parts, so you can easily have him hold a sword in his mouth, and I also love the fact that the description says that you can still equip additional job armor, so you can give him the same job as his master. And in the promotional images, this master is the Land Hunter, which did already have all of his details unveiled, so here are some promotional images, and we're moving on to the Liber Fortress and the Rosen Commander. Here we got confirmation of stuff that we aren't getting. Yesterday, I talked about how they're a remold combo set of a rank 1 set and a rank 3 class up set. But based on the price, I speculated that most likely, most definitely, we weren't getting everything. And now we can see that we indeed aren't getting the leftover rank 1 pieces, which is fair enough to save some money, which you can then use to buy some more 30-minute sisters, like Saki Hanami 20th Anniversary U and I version. They confirmed that you'll also come with a microphone, and of course, hand parts to hold said microphone. On to the 30 minutes preference kits then. First up, Madoka. Yesterday, I mentioned that they made a mistake on Instagram, and that the 2 included faces that they showed were actually identical. Well, here is the fixed version in Japanese. As for the accessories, what you see is what you get, and the same goes for Homura. Next up, Powered Natsumi and Giroro. Most of her accessories were already unveiled, including her gimmicks, but now they confirmed that she will also be coming with effect parts for her wings. Also, she's coming with marking stickers, so I hope they're gonna be like the Kotoki style markings on the Gundam Fix Figuration parody figure of Powered Natsumi. That would be really cool, and I think also pretty possible, because what else could the marking stickers be for? The waterside decals for her eyes are already listed separately, so it can't be those either. And finally, for the 30 minutes line, there was the mystery announcement for the Major Kusanagi and Fuchikoma one-person tank. Unfortunately, their silhouettes are still dark, and the only thing we got was like a very vague description of the accessories that they're coming with. Major Kusanagi will come with 2 pre-printed faces, not shown, hand options, waterside decals, and the very generic, broadly named weapons. Our one-man tank, meanwhile, comes with hand parts and a lead wire. And that was it for the 30 minutes news. So on to the other model kits we go. And here we get what I believe is like the one new announcement of the entire Hobby New Item info thing. The high-grade Alteisen Riese. A big chunky model kit for a big chunky boy. We've got a pile bunker, a Gatling gun, opening missile launchers, an effect part for the horn, and even an action-based number 4 to make sure that the thing doesn't topple over. All of which can be yours in December for 7,480 yen, 47 US. Also releasing in December is the high-grade VF31F Siegfried Messer Ihlefeld custom. I believe this thing was already shown off at the Shizuoka Hobby Show, but I didn't cover it yet. So, it is getting released in the usual 3 sets. First up, there is the basic set for 5,830 yen, 37 US. Included is the Siegfried itself, shortcut change transformation parts, landing gear, 2 knives, a gun pod, and 3 in-scale figures. A Messer figure for the cockpit, a Kaname figure with helmet also for the cockpit, and then a standing Kaname figure. The second set then is the Deluxe set. For 8,580 yen, 54 US, it comes with everything that the normal set comes with, plus a set of water slides and an acrylic stand featuring a brand new illustration of Kaname. And then to add a finishing touch, you can get the dedicated set of waterside decals for 825 yen, 5 US. Another impressive set then is the 1000 scale Space Battleship Yamato 3199 Deluxe set. Included in the set are 2 completed Yamatos with the choice between 6 different variants. The first one you can build is either the rollout version or when they receive the Cosmo Reverse. And for the second Yamato you can build, you can choose between either the first refit, second refit, third refit, or the reward ceremony version. Also included are a newly molded Cosmo Hound, a new wave motion gun for on the bow, and a set of effect parts for the main gun. There's 3 long ones, 3 medium ones, and 3 short ones, making for a very impressive display. Next up then, we have Votoms, the high-grade Scopedog, the Graue Hexe version, Desert Colors version. It's a redesign that has definitely divided netizens with its quite out there proportions. But whatever you think about it, we now have all of the remaining details for it. It'll retail for 4,730 yen, 30 US, and comes complete with a backpack, heavy machine gun, pile bunker, and the ability to transform into both its stored mode and the new turret mode. And talking about turrets, let's go to the Giroro kits. Again, we knew most of their details, but not all of them. So, the base kits are all the same, meaning that they also have the same universal accessories. They all come with a stand, a shield, a Charon gun, and something that is simply called an axe, but is clearly based on the Zaku's Heat Hawk. With their backpack weapon system then, they can transform into a more personalized unit. Or you can use all of those backpacks together to form one supercharged Robo. The Giroro Robo is used here as an example, but I'm pretty sure you can attach it to any other Robo as well. As for the newly announced features and accessories then, the Tamama Robo comes with some massive effect parts, and the accessories for the Giroro Robo can be transformed into a massive gun turret. And now for something completely different. Dragon Quest Clay Slimes. They're releasing in October, and they're like a combination of clay and a model kit. So, the simplest one of the bunch is a blue slime that goes for 770 yen, 5 US. What you do is put the included clay into a mold, which will then give you the body of the slime, which you can then decorate with the eyes and mouths from the included sticker sheet. And it also comes with an acrylic stand, featuring the message "A slime has appeared." All following sets will have the same customization options, plus some more accessories, which I'm assuming is going to be the model kit part. So for 990 yen, 6 US, there's a hero slime with headband, sword, and shield. For another 990 yen, 6 US, there's an angel slime with wings and a halo. And for 1,320 yen, 8 US, there's a slime knight with a knight that can ride your slime. I think these might do a little bit better than those Unko kits, which use the same concept. Or, maybe you can buy some of those Unko sets for cheap to further customize your slimes. And then you can even use the Unko clay to make more slimes. Maybe Bandai was playing the long game here. And to wrap up the Hobby New Item Info event thing then, let's have a look at the Pokemon stuff. Releasing in August is the Pokemon Plastic Model Collection Select Series Mega Black Rayquaza. It goes for 3,080 yen, 19 US, and promises to be the longest Pokemon model kit of the line, clocking in at an impressive 30 centimeters. And to display this long boy, it comes with a base designed to look like a cloud. Next up in December then, there was the Pokemon Plastic Model Collection 63 Select Series Dialga. This thing goes for 2,970 yen, 19 US, and comes complete with a Roar of Time effect part. They then also showed off the new Pokemon tabletop game, but covering that is beyond the scope of this channel. So, related to the Gunpla news then, we have some Gundam base news. Just today, a new pop-up store opened up in Niigata. Tomorrow, the Real Great ARC 78-2 version 2.0 will also be sold at the Gundam Base Annex at the New Chitose Airport, but entry is limited by a pre-registration lottery. And then on July the 3rd, a permanent Gundam base is opening up in London. Some potentially big news then came from the Gundam live-action movie. Pictures have surfaced of props featuring a very distinct Earth Federation emblem on them, which then of course immediately fueled speculation that the movie might take place in the Universal Century. And here's the thing, depending on which statements you look at, this both makes sense and doesn't make sense. Because only like a week ago, the director came out and said that the movie will feature famous mobile suits and famous ships, or like at least ships and mobile suits that you'll recognize. So them being from the Universal Century would make sense. But then like a month ago, Netflix gave us a brief overview of the story, and they said that the movie would have like a war that had been going on for decades, which is not a thing we have in the Universal Century. So, provided that everything that we've heard so far is true, I can only really come to one conclusion. The movie will most likely feature the Universal Century, but it's going to be like a very liberal reinterpretation, with like the 1-year war being turned into the several decades war. And then instead of Zeon beginning the war with a colony drop, they might be trying to end the war with a colony drop, kind of like what happened at the end of the 7th Space War in Gundam X. And here's the thing, in that story overview, they talked about a serious threat that could define the fate of humanity and shifting allegiances, which a colony drop would be perfect for. It's a very serious threat, and it could involve a Zeon character switching sides and trying to help prevent said colony drop. But of course, until we get like official confirmation, all of this is just pure speculation. On to something that is officially confirmed, the re-release of the Premium Bandai Limited FW Gundam Converge Core Full Armored Double Zeta Gundam. It's re-releasing in November for 3,960 yen, 25 US, and comes complete with its double beam rifle, hyper mega cannon, and 2 hands holding those massive beam sabers, with beam saber blade effect parts. Oh, and since we're on the topic of figures, 2 weeks ago I talked about the Gundam Miximize figures that were shown off at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. And I made a joke that I thought people comparing these to Bionicle is actually like kinda offensive to Bionicle, because Gundam Miximize isn't looking all that great, unlike Bionicle. It's like some people said in the comments, they look more like Bionicle bootlegs than actual Bionicles. But due to the wording of the joke, some people took it as me hating on Bionicle instead of hating on Gundam Miximize. It was only like 2 comments or so, but I figured that if 2 people commented about it, there might have been more people who thought it and didn't comment about it. And I would find it pretty unfortunate if people thought that I disliked or even hated Bionicle or Lego. Anyways, which from Mercury? Last week, they unveiled their newest collaboration with Noodles sold at 7-Eleven, and on the 26th, this collaboration went live. The first part of the collaboration is that by buying 2 eligible cup noodles, you'll get a free clear stand, featuring either Suletta, Mirine, Guel, Elan number 4, Elan number 5, or Shadiq with some beautiful new art done by Mogumo. They're all wearing yukatas with either tanuki or kitsune ears and tails, which is then of course related to the noodles. The second part of this collaboration then is that you can get this new art on some new merchandise. You can get them as a 2-way acrylic stand for 1,925 yen, 12 US, a random acrylic badge for 550 yen, $3.50, a random shikishi for 495 yen, 3 US, or a Suletta and Mirine acrylic noodle stopper for 3,008 yen, 19 US. Reservations on 7net are open until June the 30th, and the items are slated for a September release. Meanwhile, on the gaming front, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation, the Zeta Gundam Ihlefeld Claw and Ihlefeld Blaster has joined the fray, while on Steam the Victory 2 Gundam has become available. Next up, in UC Engage, they're celebrating the 2.5th anniversary with a bunch of things like a special Engage week, combat power augmentation operations, selection unit assembly, a clan battle, and an ultra limited unit assembly featuring the UR Lalasoon and her UR Elmeth. And then for SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, the big thing is of course the upcoming cross-dimension 0079 story event, with what appears to be a double unit. We've got the SSR Saki Graham and the SSR Gundam Pixie and Afreed as a single unit. Not exactly a duo that comes to mind when I think about a tag team. As for the things you could get this week then, on the 22nd, you could try out your luck with the latest GQuuuuuX Ichiban Kuji lottery. One ticket goes for 900 yen, 6 US, and you'll always win something. But of course, the higher prizes are significantly better than the lower prizes. Starting from the bottom and going up, you can win a clear poster featuring art from the anime, an acrylic stand featuring mobile suits and mobile armors from the anime, a Zaku head or Solomon bottle cap, a new type flash hair clip, a mobile suit head magnet featuring either the White Gundam, Police Zaku, or Gan in standard colors, a really nice Shalia Bull Masterlice figure, a really cool G-Fred Bustazen figure, or an equally cool White Gundam Bustazen figure. And if you get really lucky and you get the last ticket, you'll also get this Red Gundam Bustazen figure. And if all of this gambling made you hungry, then on the 25th, the SD Gundam Snack with sticker got a re-release. One package goes for 171 yen, a little over $1, and comes with one of 32 SD Gundam stickers, 5 of which are holographic. And if you want to collect them like a pro, then on the same day, pre-orders on Japanese Premium Bandai went live for this SD Gundam Snack binder. It is slated for a November release and goes for 2,750 yen, 17 US. On the 27th then, GQuuuuuX Beginning became available on DVD and Blu-ray. The DVD goes for 3,850 yen, 24 US, and comes with just the DVD, whereas the Blu-ray goes for 10,780 yen, 68 US, and is more of a deluxe edition. It comes with the movie on a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc, plus a normal Blu-ray disc with bonus footage, a bonus booklet, and a new novel called The 17 Bunch Incident. For this week's reading material then, there was the July issue of Hobby Japan, featuring a special on the bulky Gundams from Double Zeta Gundam and Sentinel, the July issue of Model Graphics, featuring a special on Iron-Blooded Orphans, the July issue of Smart, which comes with a messenger bag featuring a reflective Zai Gundam, the July issue of Shonen Sunday Special, in which Gundam Aggressor is being serialized, and we also got the July issue of Gundam Ace, in which, of course, a bunch of Gundam series are being serialized. Plus, they've also got a special feature celebrating the 25th anniversary of the magazine. Staying with Gundam Ace, the following manga got some tankobon volumes released this week. Volume 2 of Gundam F91 Eternal Wind, and Volume 1 of Silver Phantom Gravure. And I feel like it's important to point out here that, in Japanese, this gravure is spelled differently from the other gravure that you might be familiar with. And what was also released this week was the new edition Shin Ueda Art Collection, featuring a bunch of beautiful artwork from Gundam, Dougram, Vodoms, and more. What's important to point out here is that this new edition just means that the cover is different. The inside is still completely the same. On to the apparel news then, where Strict G kicked things off with a new Strict G New York lineup. For 6,600 yen, 41 US, you can get the following designs on a black t-shirt. A camo RX-78 head with New York on the back, a camo Char head with also New York on the back, or a Char Zalku 2 with the RX-72 Gundam's head on the back. All of which became available in physical Strict G stores on the 23rd. And finally, they also announced these Gundam Seed Shirakawa Daruma figures, with Shirakawa being a famous Daruma maker from Fukushima. The lineup consists of a Freedom and Justice Daruma, which you can get in two sizes. 15 centimeters going for 4,950 yen each, 31 US, or 8.5 centimeters going for 3,300 yen each, 21 US. They'll become available at physical Strict G stores on August the 1st. Or you can also get them as a twin pack through Premium Bandai. The price remains the same, but you'll also get a fancy wooden storage box. And that has been all for this week's pretty lengthy Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.